Okay, you guys, so we are at 8:30 on the dot. Thank you for joining us this evening and taking time out of your schedule to be with us here tonight. My name is Julia Ladowski. I'm the marketing manager here at Innovate, and you're tuning into our treasure trove call. So every week we host these calls where we either give a product highlight or have you hear from some people in our field to share their experience about being on the Innovate product. So if you are a guest and accepted the invitation from someone in our family to be here tonight, thank you for joining us, and you are in for a special treat. We are privileged to have the man I have in front of me, Dr. Anthony Kleinsmith. He is the CEO, founder, and formulator of all things Innovate. He's just a brilliant man and has some amazing formulations. And the one he's going to be talking about tonight is Leptin 6, and the whole family of products within it. Dr. K, like I said, is really a brilliant man, you guys. He is considered the world's leading expert on colostrum. He has a PhD in nutrition, and it's really just his heart and his mission to share colostrum and our family of products based on colostrum with as many people as possible. So, Dr. K, I'm going to hand it over to you. Thanks for being here.
Right. Thanks for having me. It's interesting. The name Leptin 6. The 6 is always for folks. The colostrum that we always use in a lot of our bases, right? There's no contraindications, no toxicity levels. It's one of the few substances on the planet that literally helps to carry things across that blood-brain barrier. And it was in 1998-99 when I had a bunch of folks who were calling me saying, Dr. K, geez, I've been taking your colostrum and I'm trimming down. How come? Well, we went back to the drawing board. My drawing board back then was Dr. Donald Lyon from Cornell University and Dr. Al Fox from Rutgers University. And I called them and I said, listen, what's going on? And they said, oh, there's this little substance in colostrum. And it's called leptin, and it comes from the word leptos, which means thin. And it was fascinating because it literally popped into my head. This is what makes us different, because if you do research online for leptin, it literally is a drug. You can't get your hands on it unless you have a doctor's prescription. It's very expensive, as a matter of fact, as well, because it does have the ability to help shrink us down. So what makes us different? It's not just that we have colostrum in these different formulations, but it's also the way that we look at and the way that these things work together, right? There's 5 different underlying factors. I'd almost throw in a 6th one. But if you look at just saying, hey, how do I forget Leptin, how do I create a shrinking me? Okay, first of all, you got to do it safely. Okay, that's number one. A lot of folks will throw in lots of caffeine and guarana and ginseng and all these things. Will it kill your appetite? Absolutely. But it's not necessarily a safe way of doing it. So we want to, number one, do everything safely, right? Number 2, we want to cleanse your cravings. Now, what is that? That's kind of a weird way of saying cleanse your cravings for sweets. We want to put you back in control. And there's nothing wrong with sweets, okay? Pistachio ice cream is my nemesis, right? I love pistachio ice cream, but I also know that I'm in control, right? 1 scoop of pistachio or even 2 scoops of pistachio ice cream, and I'm now good. I can say no. A lot of folks, I call it the Oreo cookie song, right? And you hear those drums beating, and you're looking around the house, and I love it because I've done this on stage with people, and I pretend like I'm opening up my refrigerator and I close it. And I hear people in the, oh my gosh, I do that. And you go back and you look and you close it. Well, you're not in control then. It's your sweet cravings that are in control. So we want to put you back in charge of that. We also want to limit the amount of bad carbs that your body absorbs. Now, not mentally, right? Not where you're having to pick up your phone and you're dialing in things and you're counting oh my gosh, it's got bad carbs. No, what we want to be able to do is put something in your body that says, hey, we're going to grab those bad carbs. We're just going to slide them on out the back end, so to speak, right? We're going to get rid of them. But then we also want to do something that, and especially for women, because they go, well, I don't want number 4. I don't want to look like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is nice, trim, lean, and toned, right? Not huge and big, but I will say this: the more muscle that you have, the higher your metabolism, and the more calories you're able to consume and burn off, right? But what we want to do is increase that lean muscle mass, that nice look. Then the more of that you have, the more that you are going to burn off. And here's the sad reality, folks. By the time you're 32, 33 years old, your lean muscle mass is already decreasing unless you're actively going to a gym, right? Well, there are things within colostrum and things within leptin that actually help build that back. Then we want to balance things, balance blood chemistries. We never want to have a peak, nor do we ever want to be at the valley side of our chemistries, because either one of those things is not a good scenario to be in. And the place that we do that for the most part is when we're sleeping, right? Yes, we can get out of balance with our chemistries, and there's a specific disease for that, and you got to take other things to help balance things out. We never want to get down that road. What we want to do is avoid that road altogether and get your body towards in a nice homeostatic position, okay? Now, hormone called leptin. It's a protein, but it's also a hormone. And it literally controls that brain to say, and it's not a conscious thing. This is where your fat cells literally work with what they call IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, and your own insulin. And it says, we've had enough, we're full, right? And the more that we can do that for you, the more that you look at the food, you go, gosh, that looks really tasty, but I'm making a choice and my stomach isn't, right? Because a lot of us, I am a carnivore. I grew up on a small dairy farm. We butchered out our own beef and everything. Boy, I love a good steak. I will eat that because it just, well, I'm a great cook, right? But I love a good steak. And when you are in control, you can look at that and go, gosh, I really love the taste of you, but I've had enough. I'm done, right? So it signals that brain to say, no, we're good. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because this naturally occurring leptin, right, is already built into our colostrum. It's already there. And what we have found over the years, and with the research that's been done on leptin, is it can actually put you into a 50% reduction in body weight. Now, I'm not talking about, hey, I weigh 100 pounds and I'm going to go to 50, right? We want you in that nice toned, I won't say athletic, but that nice toned look, like somebody goes, boy, you look like you're in shape, right? You look like you have that toned look. That's what leptin helps to do. And by putting all these different factors that are found within the Leptin 6 lineup, we help you at different times throughout the day, even at night, right, to help lift and tuck and tone. But we also put you back in control of that appetite or the sweet cravings or the carbohydrates, right? So, hey, Robert. So let's keep going. Here's where it gets interesting with that, though. I love this. I have to stop and say that right there, colostrum plus leptin. Every time I see that, I'm like, gosh, I wish I would have thought of that. I wasn't bright enough to think of that. That was great, by the way, Julia. That's you. What we want to do, though, is we want to put you. There's this communication, right, that's going on between your hypothalamus, that's your engine, if you will, your volume for eating, and your stomach. Well, if that volume is turned up really loud, boy, you chow down, right? And you don't stop. You can actually gorge yourself because that communication gap he says, keep feeding me Seymour, right? That old movie. What we want to do is bring that gap down to where you're in control. That's number one. We want to balance your thermostat. We all know somebody who's extremely thin, right? They can eat anything they want at any time, and you can almost hear their fat cells leaving their body. We love to hate them. It's okay to do that for a little while, right? But we also have those other folks that if they happen to see a magazine with that pistachio ice cream, and I'm talking about myself, you can almost hear those fat cells plumping up insides, right? Well, what we want to do is turn your thyroid, which is your body's thermostat, we want to turn that up just a notch, not over too much, but we want to turn it up to the point where your body starts looking for the best energy source that your body carries around with you, which is fat for that energy. And once you start burning that, that's kind of what they call about ketosis, right? Colostrum and the different factors here help you to get into that state. And once you start burning fat, folks, your energy levels go off the roof. right? You don't need that extra cup of coffee at 4 o'clock because your energy is coming from an internal thermostat that's cooking something that we all kind of want to get rid of anyway. And that's the fat around the middle or the thighs or the buttocks or the different areas of the body. But we also want to make sure that long term, there's so many people today that are what they call insulin resistant weight gainers. They're not diabetics, but they kind of turn on the on ramp, right? They're moving down and trying to get on the freeway. Well, we don't ever want that to happen. We want to get off that on ramp and turn around and go the other way. We want to balance those body chemistries, and that's what the leptin system is also designed to do. Not just during the day, not in just in the afternoon, but also at night when you're sleeping. Well, the one thing you have to remember for everybody out there, right? None of us are getting out of this thing alive. None of us, right? Now, I'm not saying go overboard either. What I'm saying is everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes because of our chemistries being out of balance or our thermostat not being as functional as it could be, or that communication gap being so wide, those things are more in control. Well, that's where the daytime capsules, the meal replacement, and the nighttime powders come in, because the daytime capsules give you that edge that you're looking for, right? They help you to control your appetite. They help you to control or that craving for sweets. And it puts you in control as to how much. There's nothing wrong, like I said, there's nothing wrong with a scoop of ice cream. There's nothing wrong, especially this time of year, with a piece of pie, right? It's just not the half of a pie, right? Blueberry sour cream. Oh boy, that's another one of my nemesis, right? It's not a single slice, but I'll tell you what, when I take my daytime capsules, then I can actually look at that pie and go, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna put that on the back burner for just a little bit, right? And there are different things that are in there that will allow your body to take those bad carbohydrates that you're gonna put in anyway, right? And here's the thing. Give yourself some tools that you've put into your little toolbox that give you the option to build a better home.
Exactly.
That's your body.
Yes.
Right? And that's the daytime capsules. Now, for me, I take mine usually around 3:30 in the afternoon. Why? Because I usually don't have any problems in the morning. I have no problems in the afternoon. But by 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, I'm starting to hear that what I used to call it I call it the Oreo cookie song, because you hear those drums beating and you're rummaging through the house looking for something to say. I want a sweet tooth, so to speak, right? Well, that's where the Leptin Daytime helps you. The shakes can help you. And here's what I mean by that. A lot of people go, it's a shake. You got to make it, you blend it up, you drink it down. But not only do you get the grams of protein and the vitamins and minerals and all the other goodies that are in there, the antioxidants, but I tell people this all the time. Shakes for me are kind of boring, right? They are. You either get an orange shake, or you get a vanilla shake, or you get a chocolate shake. I like to spice it up, right? If I can convince myself I'm going to cheat a little bit, I'm going to do it in a nice way, right? And what do I mean by that? I'll take my vanilla shake. I'm a chocolate lover, but I'll do the vanilla shakes, and I'll throw some frozen strawberries in there. I will throw a spoonful of peanut butter powder in there. And then I do that with the chocolates too, because the chocolate ones, that's a Reese's peanut butter cup for me. And I just cheated. Or a chocolate dipped strawberry. And I'm looking around going, ha, ha, ha. I got my goodies in, right? I got my sweets in, but they're not really that sweet for you. They're good for you, as a matter of fact, right? They fill you up. They give you the proteins and other things to keep everything in balance. You can use it as not only a meal replacement, if that's what you wanted to do, or you can use it as a snack. Those are my snacks, right? I usually don't do a full 8-ounce shake. I usually do a little 4-ounce, and yeah, I still throw some little things in there. Gives a little flavor for me that my wife asked me one time, because I'm looking around, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh." She's like, "Did you think you were cheating?" I said, "Well, maybe a little, because it does. If you have a shake, I love the chocolates. You throw a little strawberry, you throw a little peanut butter in there. It's a chocolate dipped strawberry peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter cup. Well, you just satisfied me right there. Boom.
Okay. I love it.
So play with it, right? You can be a PhD in that playing time. Now, the nighttime, this one is kind of fun because it's a collagen-based formula. Every time that you take one of those scoops and you put it into your drink, however much water, I like mine. I actually will do this during the daytime too, right? Because I like the taste of it. But I'm also putting in 2 grams of collagen. So you're going to get that lifting and that tucking of areas that just over time we have a tendency to droop, right? Or sag. We lift and tuck those things. But it also at night, one, it helps you sleep. Folks, I'm telling you right now, if you struggle with sleeping, try the nighttime about a half an hour, 45 minutes before you go to bed. It keeps the thermogenic burn up. So, yes, you're actually in ketosis while you're sleeping, burning fat, right? And it helps to balance that insulin. The biggest time that we are out of balance with our chemistries is when we're sleeping, right? We're not eating for typically anywhere from 5 or 6 hours to as much as 7 or 8 hours. Well, if you're not balancing those things out, your chemistries can go in peaks and valleys. We never want to have that. What we want to do is put enough protein in even while you're sleeping to get those things balanced out. Once you're balanced out, your thermostat works better, your thermogenics work better. You start to lose the inches, but while you're sleeping as well.
Okay. Exactly. So Doc, just give everybody the quick rundown again of really in a 24-hour time period, how to use the system.
Real simple. If you read the back of the bottles, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day before breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I do mine a little differently. I like to do 3 at around 3:30, and I do another 3 at around 5:30 just before I go home, and it takes me through the evening, and I'm a happy camper. When I use the shakes, it's 1 or 2 scoops, depending on the size of what you're trying to make, right? So I usually do 1. I love it and love it in coconut milk, right? Because it just gives that nutty flavor, and I love that. I use it either for a meal replacement. I don't usually do that too often, but I do love my little tiny treats. I usually do a little 4-ouncer. I do 1 scoop. Then I'll add a couple of fun things in there, chocolate or not chocolate, but peanut butter powder or frozen strawberries, that kind of thing. The nighttime, yes, 1 scoop, 2 to 4 ounces of water, mix it up really well, drink it down. I usually tell people around a half an hour, 45 minutes before you go to bed. But I also, on this one, I actually do enjoy. I'll get the water bottles, the 17-ounce water bottles. I'll drink down, probably a good 3 ounces, and then I'll put 1 scoop in there and I'll shake it up really well, and that's what I sip on throughout the day. So there you go. It's an easy process. It's an easy system to live by and play with it, right? You know when your bad times throughout the day are in a 24-hour period. If you have some sleep issues, try the nighttime. If you like the flavor of it, can you take it during the day? The answer is yes, right? So play with it. Learn that, you know what? Every single one of these products stacks on one another. We actually did a 100-person mini clinical. And what we did is we took a group of them and put them just on daytime, just on the shakes, and just on nighttime. And what we found is on each one of those, they lost significant inches in weight. Now, put them all together, you accelerate that whole process.
Exactly. I love it. Well, thank you, Dr. K. Well, next up, these two are amazing. They've had incredible results. And I'm going to let you guys just tell a little bit about your story and experience with Leptin.
Well, thank you so much for having us. When Dr. K was talking about, those people you love to hate, I have been on both sides of those. I've been the bigger person hating those people. And now I get to be on the other side of that. And it is so much better to be able to eat that and feel like you can eat whatever you want. And, but I'm like you, I take mine a little bit differently too, but I'm definitely going to try the snack thing. I'm going to try the shake in the afternoons. But one thing I never want to go without is the Leptin nighttime. I can tell such a huge difference in my belly when I take it. It is super fantastic. But I'm a rebel on that one too. I just take a scoop, throw it in my mouth, and swallow with water.
Yeah, I just take it and let it dissolve under my tongue and just let it go that way. I love it that much. And then I love that I was never a good sleeper. I like what it does for the sleeping patterns because, as you know, you heal when you sleep, you repair when you sleep. So I was not doing that. I was waking up. Wendy would make fun of me and be like, "Oh, you can drop a pin and you would wake up." Well, when I do this, I'd sleep deep, but it's not one of those when I wake up the next day where I'm groggy and I'm like hungover type feeling, feel like I need 3 or 4 hours to wake up. Not like that at all. Whether I sleep 4 hours or 6 hours, I feel very, very rested like I did when I was younger. So.
And not only us, we've had great success with it, but we have a lot of clients that have had success with it. You know, we have guys that's dropped to 35 to 38 pounds in 4 to 5 weeks. And, you know, we hear a lot of women say, well, I don't lose weight as quickly. Well, we have a girl who she lost 38 pounds in 5 weeks on the Leptin system. And she ended up breaking her foot and she couldn't work out with us any longer. And even not getting to work out, she is still dropping pounds. And she's like, I don't know how I'm doing this. I'm still losing weight and I'm not even working out, but I am taking my products.
But I also want to throw something in here. You two are different. You guys do training, right? You've worked with hundreds, if not thousands of people who have struggled, right? And you've taken what you do with your training regimen, and now you've brought in the Leptin and accelerated, would you say, most, if not all, of those folks?
Absolutely. I honestly feel like we're cheating sometimes because we didn't have this when we lost our weight. We lost as a family 340 pounds, but we implement intermittent fasting. And if you're a faster, you know how hard it is to make it from that, a lot of times from that curve of when you first wake up, you're okay. Then when it starts hitting around 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, depending on what time you break your fast, we get into that phase where we call hangry. And I'll tell you, I can really make on some long fast with the daytime. I love it. And I tell people we implement that so much with people. I'm like, look, this literally blows the whistle on it literally suppresses your appetite, but not in a bad way. When you eat, you're able to eat, get your nutrition in. But I'm a big sweet fiend. I love sweets. And I literally sit there and watch myself be ready to tear a piece of cake up. And I'm halfway through and I literally shut off. I'm like, I cannot eat another bite. So it is a phenomenal weapon that we now call one of the greatest weapons we use in our arsenal with helping people implement IF into their plans. And my goodness, I love what it does.
I don't think we have had one person that is working out with us that has added the Leptin that hasn't dropped at least 10 to 15 pounds just adding the system in with them.
So yeah. They aren't just seeing the results from the workout. I mean, obviously, if you lower your calorie count and you increase your exercise, that's going to start it. But sometimes, like you said, it's tough, right? When that Oreo cookie song or whatever you're calling, right, is, it's sometimes tough to say, no, I'm in control, versus you hear that pounding of the drums going and you're out there hunting. Right? Even especially if you are raising your metabolism by working out, by getting into that fitness zone, right? Now you have these extra tools that you're handing out to all of your fitness clients, and you're seeing more and more results.
Well, here's what does it for a lot of people is, I'd already dropped 100 pounds and I was already thin. I didn't feel like I needed, I went from a size 18 to a size 4. And I didn't even think I could lose or needed to lose any more weight. And just adding the product, I dropped 17 more pounds. My waist shrunk 2 more inches. So, I mean, to me, that says a lot because, anybody can lose 20 or 30 pounds because, it's easy to follow something for a few weeks. But once your body adapts to it, your body slows down and you hit a stall. Well, with these products, you don't stall. You just drop.
I call that winter mode because your body, especially when you start shifting things, right? Your body says, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want to do that. I'm not used to that. So I'm going to store everything. That's why you see these folks that walk into a gym and they literally work out 5 days a week and they go, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I haven't lost anything. Well, that's their body saying, oh, whoa there, Bucky. We're in winter mode. We're storing that for when the summer comes, right? Which if they're changing things like that, it never does. You taking these products, then it just pushes you over that edge, right? It gets you out of that winter mode, so to speak.
Gets rid of that stubborn fat.
Yeah, that stubborn fat. So I have a question for you, Wendy. Are you now you don't have to answer this, right? This is one of those questions, but are you in the size when you were in high school and that kind of thing? Because if you've lost
I am smaller than I was in high school.
That's awesome.
In high school, I was like maybe
Congratulations.
a size 7. I'm in a size 2 now.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
so lucky.
You got to. And here's another question though. Are you also finding things lifting and tucking, right? Tightening, if you will, especially if you're doing the nighttime. That's going to help do that with that much collagen that you're putting back in your body.
Everybody wants to see underneath my arms to see if I've had surgery because I did lose so much weight. Everybody wants to see my belly. But my biggest thing I'm most excited about was right here at your arms, you know, because I did lose quite a bit of weight, and in my face right here, because I lost a face. And I did notice that.
I've never had anybody say that before. I've lost a face.
I did. I lost a face. And so it really has tightened up my skin, every part of my skin. So I have not had any tucks, any nips, any kind of skin surgeries. My body just tightened back the way it should. And I probably look better than I did in high school.
She does. She does.
Very good. Well, there you go. The guy right next to you saying, right? And that's what we're looking for.
He's pretty buff too.
I have heard that you have had some accelerated benefits by one of our other products as well.
I absolutely have. Flex 6. Yeah, that's been a huge one for me. But I also say not only that, but because of the lean muscle mass it builds, but with the Leptin, I'm able to do something that not many people who know the bodybuilding world as far as able to put on size and still stay shredded at the same time too. That's not an easy thing to do. And I don't really change or implement anything new, calorie restriction. I don't do any of that. I really don't have time for that. I just go with it is what I say, but I actually get my products in. And when I do this, it is allowed. I've actually now put on 17 pounds of lean muscle mass with being able to keep under 10% body fat. And I will say this, Dr. K, I love the shake. I had all but written off protein shakes. I hated them. I probably, whatever one you can think of, I have taken it. And when I got this, I was so excited because I was actually, I put it in my coffee. I'm a coffee guy. I put it in my coffee. Okay. All I have to do is sit there, stir it up, and I'll throw a little cinnamon in there with it and a little bit of butter in there with it, add a little extra fat. And it's like a big latte or a big, nice, sweet treat for me in the morning. It sustains me. Honestly, I break my fast with that a lot of times. And it is, 28 grams of protein. You can't beat that at all. I love the chocolate.
Oh, see,
I'm the vanilla girl.
Yeah, she's the vanilla girl. I'm the chocolate guy.
I'm chocolate.
Well, all right. Well, thank you very much for telling us your story, right? And sharing
it. We're so thankful for the products and the company and just everything. We couldn't be more grateful for everything that's happened to us. It's really changed our lives in more ways than one.
Definitely feel like we're living a dream. That's for sure.
Well, and that's what it's about, right? Like I said earlier, I kind of make a joke out of it, but none of us are getting out of this alive. But you might as well, while you're here, like you just said, live a dream, right? Because that's what it's about. It's living a dream for your personal self, for your significant other sitting next to you, for your family members that surround you, especially coming up at Thanksgiving, where you're going to have, everybody and their dog, including the dog and their dogs probably, coming to your house, right? It's being able to share because you care. And you know what? Just by having the changes that you all have seen physically, people are going to ask. People are going to say, you know what are you doing? Because you've changed. You blossom, right? So kind of fun.
I love it, guys. That's what it's all about. That's what a Novate means. If you didn't know, it means a new you. And that's what we want to hear. Stories like that. I love it. Kevin and Wendy, you guys are a new you. And every day you can take these supplements to become a better version of you. And we just love that. So thank you guys so much. Wonderful call tonight. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Hang out with us there. And Dr. K, I'm going to let you close this out.
All right, well, folks, we have a phenomenal month starting. We're already 4 days into it. And I will tell you, we are already ahead of last month, which was our biggest month ever in the company. Every single month, we just seem to grow and grow and grow. And it's because of you folks being on the line like this and learning about our products. The folks that brought you to this call are sharing because they do care, right? And that's a big part of what a Novate is all about. It's a new you in whatever fashion it is, whether, hey, I just want to be a customer, come on board, right? Let us help you feel better. Hey, I want to change my existence, literally existence, on a financial side. We can help you do that as well, right? What's fun for me is when I get to see people do that together, right? I will take either one, all three. Just financial, we've got that for you. Just I want to be a customer, we're going to make you feel better. But you combine those two together, and sometimes we just need that extra helping hand.
Exactly.
And yes, the products are there to help you do that. We aren't just another company. We are the Innovate Nation. So do I give out my, and I love this part of it, do I give out my cell phone number on these calls? Absolutely, 801-368-6744. However, if you call me, I will never answer, but if you text me, I promise you an immediate response, because the only one that I actually answer that cell phone for is Mrs. Kleinsmith, and after 34 years, she's the only one that still scares me, and I don't like sleeping on the couch. So with that, have a fantastic rest of the evening, fantastic rest of the week. And remember, we're all breathing, so it's all good.
Thanks, guys. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye, everybody.